Thank you, Connor. Good morning. Today is Monday, November 10th, 2025. This is an adjudicatory hearing before the Massachusetts Gaming Commission relative to the suitability of Justin Carter as an individual qualifier to Penn Entertainment, which is the parent company of the Category 2 gaming licensee Plainville Gaming and Redevelopment LLC, doing business as Plainridge Park Casino, PPC. My name is Jordan Maynard. I'm chair of the commission. I'm joined today by my colleagues, Commissioners Eileen O'Brien, Brad Hill, Nikisha Skinner, and Paul Broder. The entire commission will preside over this hearing and the decision of this matter. This hearing will be conducted in accordance with 205 CMR 101.01, the informal fair hearing rules outlined in 801 CMR 1.02 and Chapter 38 of the general laws. This hearing is being conducted via remote collaboration technology, and it's being recorded. A notice of hearing dated October 10th, 2025 was issued to the parties. The notice identified the issues that today's hearing is intended to address. Specifically, the commission will focus its review on whether the facts presented constitute clear and convincing evidence that the suitability standards set out in General Law, Chapter 23K, Sections 12 and 16, and 205 CMR 115.01, Subsection 1 have been met. There are two parties before us today, and each are represented. I will ask Attorney Kennedy and then Attorney Soriano. Please identify yourselves and your teams and advise the commission as to whom everyone represents as applicable. Let's start with Attorney Kennedy. Good morning again.
Good morning again, Chair. Good morning, Commissioners. Nathaniel Kennedy on behalf of the IEB. Also present today are IEB Director Caitlin Monahan, Chief Enforcement Counsel Kathleen Kramer, Lieutenant Scott Walker, and Trooper Mike Yomalakis of the Massachusetts State Police, Financial Investigation Manager Song Fei Zhu, as well as Financial Investigator Susan LaRosa.
All right. Thank you, Counselor Kennedy. Attorney Soriano.
Good morning again, Chair and Commissioners. Christopher Soriano on behalf of Penn Entertainment, Inc. and the applicant Justin Carter, and the applicant Justin Carter is with us.
Thank you. At the conclusion of these opening comments, the proceeding will commence with opening remarks. Each party will be offered an opportunity to make a statement, though it need not do so. After opening statements, we'll move into the presentation of the evidence. The IEB will be called upon to present its findings as described in the investigation report, and any commissioner may ask any question of anyone presenting information at any point during or following the presentation. At the conclusion of the IEB's presentation, Mr. Carter, through counsel, will be afforded an opportunity to ask questions of any individual who presented information on behalf of the IEB relative to any matter addressed in the investigation report or to which they spoke. At the conclusion of the IEB's presentation, Attorney Soriano and Mr. Carter will be given the same opportunity to make a presentation. He may call any witnesses and present any other evidence he desires. The Commission has directed in the notice of hearing that at a minimum, Mr. Carter be available to testify if called upon. I'll note for the record that he is present. In fact, he was here earlier with us at a different hearing. Commissioners may require any of the IEB's investigators to testify to their findings. Either party may raise any objection it desires at any time. However, the basis for all objections must be clearly stated. Finally, at the conclusion of the presentations of all the evidence, Attorney Kennedy and Mr. Carter through Attorney Soriano will be provided with an opportunity to make closing remarks, summing up their view of the evidence. Again, this is optional. Before we begin, I understand that there are two exhibits for consideration at this hearing that have been exchanged by the parties in advance. Those exhibits are as follows. Exhibit 1, which is the notice of hearing dated October 10th, 2025, and Exhibit 2, the IEB's investigation report dated October 9th, 2025. Are there any objections to any of these exhibits being marked and entered into evidence?
No objection from the IEB.
Thank you.
No objection from the applicant, Chair, and we will stipulate to the IEB's report.
Thank you, Mr. Soriano. Those exhibits shall be admitted into evidence. If either party has anything to add during the course of the hearing, please ensure that that evidence is properly introduced and marked for the record. The Commission anticipates that its inquiry into this at this proceeding will be related to the matters addressed in the investigation report and contained in the notice of hearing. If a line of questioning conducted by the commission moves into an area that's not been included in the report or notice, but that is material to the final determination of this matter, any party may request a recess in the proceeding to review the issue. The commission will deliberate privately later today and make a final decision after the conclusion of the evidentiary portion of the hearing. A written decision will be issued as promptly as possible. If at any point during the commission's deliberations it determines that further testimonial or documentary evidence is desirable, it reserves the right to ask the appropriate party to provide such evidence prior to a final decision being made. We will now swear in all the witnesses. Counsel, are the individuals you anticipate presenting testimony in this matter present on this call?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. As usual, if anyone's added, it's up to you to let me know. We'll place them under oath. Anyone who will be testifying at this proceeding, please raise your right hand. Mr. Carter. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you will provide before the commission at this proceeding be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do. Yes.
Thank you. All have responded in the affirmative. Given the nature of the suitability review, there is necessarily a significant amount of personal or commercially sensitive information that the commission is being called upon to consider. The public discussion of such information may result in an unwarranted invasion of an individual's personal privacy or may place an entity at a competitive disadvantage if such information were to be publicly discussed. For the commission to be able to effectively and diligently execute its legal obligations prior to making a suitability finding, it must be at liberty to fully inquire relative to any of these sensitive matters without compromising the individuals or entities involved. To do otherwise would be, at a minimum, unfair and potentially unlawful. Accordingly, my colleagues and I may elect to exercise the discretion afforded to us in 205 CMR 101.01, paragraph 7, to close this proceeding to the public to fully address certain matters. Either party may also request that portions of this hearing be closed to the public, and any such request will be met in turn by the commission. Before we begin, it's my understanding that a pre-hearing conference was conducted with representatives of PEN, the IEB, and our legal department, at which procedural and evidentiary issues were discussed. Do either of the parties have any preliminary issues or objections they would like to raise? I will note again that Mr. Soriano did stipulate to the report.
Nothing further from the IEB.
Nothing further from the applicant. Chair, we're ready to proceed.
Thank you. With that, I ask Attorney Soriano to please proceed with any opening remarks he would like to make on behalf of PEN and Mr. Carter.
Good morning again, Chair and Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today. I have the privilege of presenting Justin Carter, Senior Vice President of Regional Operations, for his finding of suitability today. We concur with the conclusions and recommendations in the IEB's report and submit that Mr. Carter has established by clear and convincing evidence his good character, honesty, and integrity, and that he otherwise meets the statutory standards for suitability, and respectfully request that the Commission so find. And again, with the Commission's permission, we will defer further comments until after the IEB's presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Soriano. And we did mark that as Exhibit 2, by the way, that report. We will now turn to Attorney Kennedy and ask that you make any introductory remarks you would like to make, and then just move straight on into your presentation.
Thank you again, Chair. Good morning again, Commissioners. I'd first like to start by thanking First Lieutenant David Collette, Financial Investigations Chief Monica Chang, Financial Investigations Manager Zhongfei Zhu, and Financial Investigators Susan LaRosa, as well as Trooper Mike Yomalakis for all of their work on this investigation. Justin Carter is a qualifier for Category 2 gaming licensee, Plainville Gaming and Redevelopment LLC, which operates Plainridge Park Casino. Mr. Carter has submitted all of the required forms and complied with all the IEB's requests for supplemental and updated information during the investigation. The IEB has also interviewed Mr. Carter, and he was cooperative and forthcoming during the process. In keeping with the IEB's established protocols for background review of casino qualifiers, we reviewed identity, confirmed financial stability and integrity, reviewed litigation history, searched criminal history, verified that there were no prohibited political contributions made in Massachusetts, and conducted checks of open source and law enforcement databases. As has been stated here, Mr. Carter is the Senior Vice President of Regional Operations for Penn Entertainment, which is the parent company of Massachusetts Category 2 Casino licensee, Plainville Gaming and Redevelopment, LLC, operating Plainridge Park Casino. Mr. Carter reports to the Executive Vice President of Operations and is responsible for all general managers of establishments in West Virginia, Mississippi, Maryland, Maine, and Massachusetts. His day-to-day involves ensuring that Penn hits their revenue and earnings goals, as well as improving business through third-party relationships, changes to facilities as deemed necessary, and he also interacts with Penn's legislative team and their legal team. Mr. Carter has master's degrees in business administration from Purdue University and a bachelor's degree in chemistry from Dartmouth College. He currently holds gaming licenses in Louisiana, Ohio, Mississippi, the UK, Johannesburg, South Africa, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Maine, and no derogatory information was reported from any of those jurisdictions. The investigation did not otherwise uncover any derogatory information that would indicate that Mr. Carter lacks the requisite financial stability, integrity, or background to be deemed suitable in accordance with the criteria set in Massachusetts gaming laws and regulations. The IEB recommends that the Commission issue a positive determination of suitability for Mr. Carter. And with that, that concludes the IEB's presentation of Mr. Carter's suitability. I would submit it to the team for any questions that the Commission may have.
Thank you, Attorney Kennedy. Do any commissioners have any questions for Attorney Kennedy or any other members of the IEB relative to the presentation? Okay. Does Attorney Soriano have any questions for Attorney Kennedy or any other members of the IEB relative to their presentation?
No questions, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now turn to you, Chris, to present any evidence you would like to.
Thank you again, Chair and Commissioners. We agree with the conclusions and recommendation stated by the IEB. Have on a personal basis, I've had the privilege to work with Mr. Carter throughout my tenure here at Penn. Found him to be a very compliance-minded officer of the company. Certainly someone with a lot of wide and diverse experience in operations, really understands the nature of the business and the nature of the high standards that our regulators hold for us, and it's a real privilege to work with on a daily basis. Again, as stated by the IEB and in Exhibit 2, Mr. Carter has established his suitability by clear and convincing evidence, and we request that the Commission so find, and I'll turn it over to Mr. Carter for any comments he might like to make.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commissioners, members of the IEB. I really appreciate you. I know these things take a lot of time, effort, and energy, and that's definitely not lost on myself, and I appreciate all that you've done, and I look forward to continuing to make sure that Plainridge is something that the Commission could be extremely proud of, and that we're always a beacon in the state of Massachusetts. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Carter, and thank you, Mr. Soriano. Do any of the commissioners have any questions for Mr. Soriano or Mr. Carter?
Mr. Chairman, a brief question for the applicant.
Absolutely, and I bet he has a pen email.
That is not the question, but feel free to comment on that, Mr. Carter.
I was going to say, Mr. Chair, if I don't, I think I may have larger problems.
That's for sure. That's for sure. And this a friendly question, to be sure. Just curious as how one gets from being a chemistry major at Dartmouth, an institution that had the good sense not to admit me way back in the day, to gaming around 7 or so years later.
Mr. Commissioner, it's a quite natural transition. I don't see how you don't get those two, but no, it's one of those things. I was a functioning chemist working for a very large pharmaceutical company, and worked myself up the ranks, and I made it to management, and I realized that you just have to wait for your boss to not show up one day, which that was not commensurate with my dreams of how I saw my career being. So after business school, I was recruited by a large gaming company into an executive development program. And the first thing I noticed was I was like, wow, these guys seems like they have a lot more fun than me in my lab coat. So the rest, 20 years later, here we go. But that's how that happened.
Good for you. I mean, that is, it's important to enjoy your job for sure. It helps you take it more seriously. I appreciate you indulging me in the
No,
question.
thank you.
I tell people, yeah, Commissioner Hill. No, I was just going to say, I do tell people all the time that gaming is a place where you can move quick and you can move up and move quickly. So I'm glad to hear that. Commissioner Hill.
Mr. Chairman, Justin, I'm always allowed from my fellow colleagues one crazy question a day. So here's my crazy question. You could be a twin to Vince Carter, the basketball player. And I noticed that I think he was born in January, and I saw that you were born in November. So it could happen that you were somehow related. But my God, you could be a twin. Any relation?
So, Mr. Commissioner, funny enough, no relation that I know of. However, I did work in Tunica and lived in Memphis, and Vince Carter just happened to play for the Grizzlies. So I may have gotten that a couple of times, and kind of tongue in cheek as a going away gift when he left the team, I convinced the team manager to give me his chair because they switched me in and he signed it. So I do have a signed Vince Carter chair. I wish I was sitting in it now and it'll make it all come together, but that's a thing.
That's awesome. As soon as you came on screen, I had to go look it up. I'm like, holy Toledo, did Vince change his name to Justin? Mr. Chairman, that's it for my silliness today. Thank you.
I always like the levity. It's nice. But the only problem is then I lose my place because I'm thinking a lot about this now. Does the IEB, any other questions, commissioners? Does the IEB have any questions?
No questions, no.
All right. Now that we've heard all the evidence in this matter, before we move to closing remarks, I'd like to turn to my fellow commissioners once again to make sure there are no further sensitive or confidential issues anybody would like to explore that would benefit from us closing this proceeding under our regulations. All right. We'll now move to any closing remarks. Each party will be afforded the opportunity to do it, but they don't need to. Would Attorney Soriano, Mr. Carter like to proceed with any closing remarks?
Nothing further, Chair, other than to again thank the commission, the legal team, the IEB team for all their hard work and diligence on this matter, and we request that you find Mr. Carter to be suitable.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. I will note that Commissioner Hill's investigative work, we now know that you own that chair, Mr. Carter, because we do look at assets. So, Attorney Kennedy.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I'd just like to reiterate that the IEB conducted a thorough investigation, Mr. Carter, and recommends that the commission issue a positive determination of suitability. Also, again, I'd like to thank the team, the IEB team that participated in the investigation, as well as Mr. Carter, Mr. Soriano for their transparency and cooperation in assisting this process. And finally, thank you to the commissioners for their time this morning.
Thank you, Attorney Kennedy, and thank you to the IEB. Unless there are any further matters that the parties or my fellow commissioners would like to address, we will now conclude this portion of the proceeding. Does anyone have anything further?
No.
Nothing from the applicant, Chair. Thank you.
The commission will deliberate on this matter in private later this afternoon. Commissioners, we will now adjourn this proceeding. Everyone have a great day and thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.